And now he begins to teach them that they must suffer, that he must suffer and die and be raised again. They're not quite getting it. And I'm wondering if we really get it when we listen. I'm afraid too many times we come to the scriptures with these preconceived ideas of who Jesus is. And we already think we know it. Now, we struggled a little bit this morning answering what Moses represented and what Elijah was and where the disciples were, where Jesus was heading after this in Mark. And maybe it's because we rely too much on hearing the story in our memories of our childhood Sunday school classes. Maybe we're not getting into the Word enough. Maybe we're not studying enough and reading through our scriptures enough. Or maybe we're just shy and don't like to shout out in church. That's always a possibility. But the point is, if we're to be listening to Jesus as we go on our way with him to Jerusalem, eventually to the tomb on Easter morning that opens, if we're going to be listening to him, we need to find ways of hearing him. We need to hear those words. And we can't do it on our own just by going through life and letting the calendar days slip on by. We have to be intentional about hearing what Jesus is saying to us. We have to be intentional about, I can't say that word, intentional, how do you say that? Intentional. Thank you. About getting into our scriptures and reading the stories of Jesus and understanding where he was trying to take the disciples, where he's trying to take us. We need to be intentional about our prayer time, about separating ourselves out and listening to the Word of God in our lives. If God's command was to listen to him, we need to take that seriously. We can't be Christians and not listen to what Jesus has to say. Jesus said some things that will blow you away if you don't come to him with your preconceived ideas. If you really take it for what he's trying to say and not what we're trying to make it say. He was very radical. Extremely radical. I think too many times we try and support the status quo. Try to keep things the way that they are, trying to make our lives a little easier. But it's not about our lives being easier. Remember what Jesus said just before he was revealed on the Mount of Transfiguration was, in order to follow me, you must pick up your cross. Deny yourself. Pick up your cross to follow me. How do we hear Jesus? Well, I think one way we hear Jesus is by paying attention. But also, we've got to remember the times of the season. It's important to remember the times of the season of the church year so that we can be in the rhythm that the church has that brings us through this story each and every year. We've gone through Christmas, and everybody likes to celebrate Christmas. It's a fun time, and I think we've made that the super church holiday, but it's not. It was an afterthought, really. It came much later than Easter celebration, for sure. Our celebration is Lent and Easter. The church's main passion should be around Lent and Easter as we move toward the cross of Jesus Christ and in the resurrection. I mean, Christmas would make no difference at all if there was no empty tomb on Easter morning. There would be no sense of even thinking about Christmas. It's the Easter event that makes us Christians. It's the resurrection of Jesus Christ. It's his death on the cross for our sins that allows us to be in relationship with God. We need to remember that our celebration, the holiest time of the year for us, is Lent and Easter. Now we're getting ready to celebrate Ash Wednesday in just 3 days, and my guess is it'll be a fair turnout, but not a great turnout. But it's an opportunity to come and to begin the journey with us into Lent. To begin hearing what Jesus has to say. And through Ash Wednesday, we begin to learn again, relearn about our mortality, our brokenness, our separation from God, and the need we have to be in his presence. I want to encourage everyone this year to make your best effort to rearrange your calendar whatever way you can, to try and be here on Ash Wednesday, that evening, as we set out on that journey with Jesus, as we begin to take the steps that will allow us to hear his voice most clearly during this holy time of year, that will eventually lead us to the empty tomb. But the empty tomb will be meaningless if we haven't learned our lessons of Lent along the way. So, on this Sunday called Transfiguration Sunday, we hear clearly God's words to us. Listen to Him. Listen to Jesus as we seek to listen to Him too.